The effects of witchcraft on an individual is often expressed in three main areas. These are the spirit, the soul, and the body. We know that the human being is made up of three components, and those are the spirit, soul, and the body. Witchcraft attacks targets areas that should be protected by the armor of God. In Ephesians chapter 6, we are told that we should wear the full armor of God, and the full armor of God consists of 7 pieces. So the part that is not covered by the armor of God is exposed to the attack of the enemy. For instance, the helmet of salvation, it protects our thoughts, our mind, our imagination, how we think and how we judge things around us. So if we are not wearing the helmet of salvation, we find that our thoughts may be attacked. Witchcraft may manipulate our mind, the way we think. Okay, we know that in the kingdom of darkness is what is called mind control, where they begin to control your mind by injecting thoughts. The breastplate of righteousness, it protects the heart, the will, the emotions. In the scriptures, we are told that we should guard our heart diligently, because out of it are the issues of life. So the issues of life, they come from the heart, and we need to protect, we need to take care of the heart by wearing the breastplate of righteousness. The shoes of the gospel, it helps to protect the relationships that we have with other people. So when we wear that, we know that the way we relate with other people is also protected. How does witchcraft affect the human soul? The human soul is made up of 3 faculties or 3 components: the mind, the emotions, and will. So we'll take each component and see how it is affected by witchcraft. Let's start with the mind. We know that thoughts originate in the mind. So when you are failing to focus on task at hand, let's say at school, at work, or anywhere, you're doing something and you're having problems in focusing, you start experiencing perverse thoughts, you start having thoughts of adultery, you start hearing voices, even when there are no people, you're just alone, you start hearing voices. You start having thoughts of violence, suicidal thoughts, you want to kill, you feel like you want to kill yourself, you want to kill somebody, and you're also failing to control your thoughts. Just know that you're under your mind is being attacked by the enemy. The Bible tells us that we have the power to capture our thoughts that exalt themselves above the knowledge of Christ. Even imagination, if you are able to imagine bad things, you can put down those, you can capture, you can control the way you imagine things. But if you are failing to do that, just know that the enemy is at work. Emotions. When you feel depressed, when you start experiencing uncontrollable anger, when you start developing hatred towards other people for no reason, just feel like you hate somebody. When you start having a strong desire to hate other people, you have the feeling of out of control. If you're out of control, you are restless. You experience fatigue even after resting for a long period of time. Just know that the witchcraft is at play. So how does it affect the human body? There are some people who are sick, but even after going for medical checkups, they are done all kinds of tests, and yet they don't find a disease in the body. Doctors who are honest, they usually advise those patients to seek help outside the hospital. They'll say try spiritual people to help you, because they know that medicine cannot solve this. Science cannot solve this. It's a mystery to doctors. So there are certain sicknesses that can be introduced into your body by means of witchcraft practices. So sicknesses that cannot be diagnosed with scientific means, it means that one is done through witchcraft. When you have an explainable blood loss, your blood, within a short period of time, you run out of blood, those are signs that the enemy is doing something in your body. Extreme body temperature, memory loss, excessive bleeding, those are symptoms. I'm not saying every time you experience these symptoms then just like it's witchcraft. No, it's something that you cannot even explain. Okay, that's what we're talking about. You can't even explain certain things, just that witchcraft is at play. How does witchcraft affect families? You know, God designed families in such a way that there should be unity, there should be peace. So every time you start experiencing disunity in families, confusion, constant arguments for no reasons, short-lived relationships for married couples, there is poverty, untimely death, backwardness, and other patterns. Those are signs that witchcraft is at play in your family. And you don't have to ignore those symptoms. Okay. Finances. I'm not saying every time you like money is witchcraft. No, there are certain problems where you've tried every time you try ABCD, but you can't have what you need. Okay. Money disappearing from time to time. It's like whenever you get money, how you use it, you don't know. It just disappears mysterious. You can't even account for how you've used the money. It means there is witchcraft at play. The enemy is there. Missing business opportunities, unfinished project. To start this project, you fail to finish because you are lacking finances. Okay, finances are not always they are never ever enough. It means witchcraft is at play. What about societies? How can witchcraft affect society? Now, when we read the book of Acts, in Acts chapter 8, verses 6 to 10, we are told of a story of a certain sorcerer, a witchcraft practitioner who bewitched the entire city of Samaria. The entire city was under the umbrella of witchcraft. Everyone there, they never used to think the way they were supposed to think. Their minds were darkened. Their minds were not open to the truth. So usually witchcraft, what they do, if they want to affect or control a city, a community, they'll cast a spell under that city. So that city will be under a spell, or a township, or even a nation can be under the manipulation of witchcraft. So they will cast a spell, and then they also decide how people in that city should behave. No wonder in certain cities or in certain communities find that here there are a lot of here people behaving in certain patterns, because that is what witchcraft has managed to do. So it's able to control how people perceive even things. In Samaria, the way people perceived Simon the sorcerer was different, because he had put them under a spell, and they were under a spell. Their minds were close to the truth because they were under a spell, and they used to see him as a great man of God, though he was not even a man of God. So you can see that witchcraft can manipulate the way we perceive things. In Galatians chapter 3 verses 1, Paul was saying, "Who has bewitched you, you foolish Galatians?" So even the Galatians themselves, it's like they were under a spell of witchcraft. So witchcraft can affect a lot of things, and it can bring havoc to families, cities, ideas, and so on. It is there to frustrate the works of God. It is there to frustrate the plans of man, because man is a direct representation of God. In the next video, we'll explain how we can break away from witchcraft, and how we can deliver your family, your finances, your community, in the name of Jesus.